We are honored to be a part of this group, to see all of you expanding, to see all of you living, to see all of you loving yourselves and the path and this life. Because as a human, it is so easy to be caught up in the greater energy. It is so easy to get caught up in the drama of humanity. And we do not say that as a judgment, for humanity was created as emotional beings. And as emotional beings, it is natural to create drama, to be drawn into drama, and for those even thrive off drama. And it is part of being an emotional being. And where the evolution truly comes in is shifting from a state of being an emotional drama or trauma, an emotionally reactive state, and moving into a state of awareness and being, and still allowing yourself to feel fully without taking it personally, because that is where the drama comes in. That is where the trauma is held on to, when things are taken personally and you feel a victim to what was happened, or you feel a victim to what is happening currently. And it is one of our greatest messages and wishes for humanity, and it is one of the greatest challenges for humanity to step away from taking things so harshly and personally, and stepping away from being caught up in the drama of things, and instead shifting into loving awareness that you are in a reality and an experience where all things are felt, all things are allowed. And you come into this lifetime to help shift, to help expand, to help heal. And it is done through either your direct experiences or through you observing and being a part of experiences of others. Because when someone close to you has an experience, even though you do not feel it directly, you very much feel it indirectly. And depending on how close you are with that other person is equal to the feeling that is passed on through you through their experience. And so in this human experience, we have direct experiences and we have these indirect experiences. And as we piece them all together, we learn and we grow and we feel through all the possibilities and emotions and what it means to be human, what it means to experience humanity. And as always, it is up to you individually and collectively to shift that. And we know that the collective shift takes time because it is such a massive energy. And so in a sense, we weep for you, we weep for humanity, tears of passion, not in sadness, not in regret, tears of passion for humanity, for the task it has of having to push through all that is around you to find yourself within it, while at the same time dealing with the reflection of energies within yourself, within your own body, reflected by others around you, your families. And again, the levels of relationships mirror on a one-to-one basis the energy that's brought back in and out of your life. And that is why family dynamics are sometimes the most difficult and most painful for so many people, because it is the closest relationships you have growing up until you have your own partner. But even when you have your own partner, if you bear your own children, the relationship with your own children might be even closer than the relationship of your partner. It is not anything to be judged. It is just about energy to be felt and experiences to be had. But understand that an experience to yourself you feel the most, an experience within a close-knit unit, such as a family, you experience next. And then it branches out from there. So when something happens to a friend, the empathy for that friend, it still activates something in you without you having to have that same experience. And it is all just levels of energy and experiences here on Earth. And those levels continue. And it's also why you come back throughout lifetimes to experience different levels of humanity, different levels of experiences. And it is all stored up in your data bank, in your records. And you carry it through from lifetime to lifetime. And even here in this lifetime, we assure you that everything you have gone through, not only in this lifetime, but everything you have gone through in past lifetimes, even though you may not consciously remember it, it is all stored in your being, in your soul imprint, even in your cells on some level, in your DNA. When we talk about ancestry, the energy of the ancestors literally comes through the DNA. And so you literally and physically have this energetic tie to your ancestors, but it also means that you can pull in any part of them, their strength, their resilience, their power. It is literally in your DNA, but it also comes through energetically. And so it is so important to understand that throughout your generations, you do so much good for each generation to come. And everything you do now in this lifetime to expand yourself, to bring more awareness into your life, that gets passed on, whether you know it or not, whether you feel it or not, it gets passed on to future generations. And we promise you that they thank you for it, for everything that you do in this lifetime, for everything you have overcome in this lifetime. You are not only doing it for yourself, you are doing it for future generations of your own lineage and future generations of all of humanity. And that is why each life is so important. And that is why each trauma that each life experiences, each drama that each life experiences, each time a human overcomes something, each time a human steps up and steps forward and pushes themselves even just the slightest bit past their fear, past that line, it moves that line for all of humanity, for all of the future generations. And things are done one step at a time. And so it's so important to understand that even though a human lifetime, even if it's 100 years, it is it is it is so small compared to the big picture. And when we say small, we do not use that word meaning insignificant. We say small in comparison to the grandeur of the lifetimes that you've lived and the lifetimes to come. And yet at the same time, one day in your life can change the world more than you can possibly realize. And also realize that it might take lifetimes for bigger changes to occur, but they will occur. And it is each human's energy that they put forth, each human's intention they put forth that helps draw these things closer to us and quicker to our reality, allowing them to happen. And understand that when you put intention out, it is a strong signal being sent out into the world. The signal itself, once you set your intention, the signal itself cannot be broken, cannot be destroyed. So no one can come into the past to break your signal. However, the signal does become distorted through interference, through the interference of the world and through the interference of yourself if you start having counter thoughts. So your counter thoughts don't stop the original thought, but it does create interference, just like static on a radio. And so when you put your intention out, I want to find the perfect mate, I want to find the perfect home, I want to create the perfect book, I want to have perfect health, it is important to put those intentions out there, but it is equally as important not to interfere with them. Just like if you're trying to listen to a radio and there's static, you can't hear the message very clearly. The universe does not hear your message very clearly when there's too much static in the way, when there's too much distortion in the way. And so it is important for you to keep working towards being clear and not reversing your own messages through negativity and density. So keep repeating the message to yourself, to the world, and keep working on clearing yourself, your energy, your mind, your emotional being, so that none of that creates static in your desires that you're putting out into the world. And so the more you can clear yourself, the more you can clear that air, the more you can clear that static, the quicker the intention putting out is reflected back. And the clearer the message reflected back, the quicker you can then expand on it. And the quicker you realize your power, and the quicker you realize, oh, if I created this, what else can I create? Let me now try to create this. And then that comes. And then you want to go bigger. Well, let me try to create this. And that comes. And so now you can go bigger. And you're capable of going from where you are now to the most grandiose idea, but it does take a lot of clarity and effort. And so it is unlikely, but not impossible. And this is where working on yourself and clearing yourself becomes more and more important, because it clears the way for your intentions and your manifestations to come even quicker and even grander than you realized. So we thank you, dear humans, for all that you do, for the bravery that you put forth in every day, in every moment. And we ask you to always be gentle with yourself and keep clearing the way for a better, brighter life and future for yourself and for all of the future generations to come. And you will see that you are only clearing the path for yourself and your own return. Thank you.